Hey, what's up everyone, Journeyman here, and welcome to a Football Manager 29 video. Yep, the first official Football Manager 29 video of the season, and this one's going to be a feature announcement kind of video. So we're going to take a look at some of the brand new features that SAI have just released today. Now, last year they did a Football Manager TV kind of representation show. I'm not sure if they do it again. They may do it, they may not, I don't know. We'll keep an eye on the Football Manager YouTube channel for that. But for now, all we have to go off is some screenshots and some information from Sports Interactive. So the first big new feature is training overhaul. So I've seen these screenshots very briefly. So let's take a quick look and see what Football Manager has to offer us this year. So let me see. Here we go. All right. So. Well, first, we'll take a look at the screenshot, and then we'll look at some of the finer details. If you have any questions, that's probably the best way to do about it. So anyway, this is what it's going to look like. And as you can see, the new theme looks like it's going to be purple. Purple and lines. Purple and lines. Okay, I can live with that. That's okay. All right, so looking at this screen, this is actually pretty nice looking. Now, obviously, the training sessions here are split between AM, middle of the day, and afternoon, I presume. So, for instance, on August 29th, they're going to see that the team is set up for physical training, quickness training in the mid-afternoon, and then afternoon is going to be a rest session. So that's, I mean, it's nice to be able to see training laid out like this. I've seen a lot of management games do this in the past, and it's been pretty effective, actually. It's pretty nice to go in, I don't know, once every 5 weeks and literally just do your whole training for the next 5 weeks. That's pretty much a month ahead of time you can do your training. It looks like there's no slide button here, so it looks like you're going to have to do, oh, never mind, you got a drop down box here, top left hand corner. So you're going to be able to do your training for the entire season if you really want to. I'm probably do a month at a time based on performance and issues on the field, stuff like that. If I notice we're not defending very well, we might just do a few extra training sessions on defending. But so far, this looks pretty impressive. Very clean, very easy to understand. And obviously they've included time for travel too. They made it realistic. So recovery period, rest, travel. So they've made it honestly pretty great. This looks really good. I'm very pleased with how this screen looks. I'm glad they're actually going towards training now. It's been a few years since training. Really, it needs an overhaul, and I'm glad that it's finally got the attention it deserves, because training obviously is a very important part of running the football club nowadays. All right, so here, let me see, tactical style wing players. Okay, so interesting. Okay. So it looks like this drop-down box here, tactical style wing players. Okay, so interesting, very interesting. So it looks like you're able to group players together based on how they fit into their tactical system. As you can see, attacking wings units. So obviously this is an attacking unit here because they're doing attacking wings, chance creation, defending wide. So yeah, it looks like you're able to group players together, which is fantastic, because obviously in real life you'll have the kind of the attackers and midfielders go play together, defenders will work together. It's nice to separate the kind of the groups together and work on them as a unit. And obviously when it comes to units and dynamics and tactical dynamics, you saw last year how they made the dynamic and the relationships on the field, how they improve your tactical awareness. Obviously that's going to play a big part in this. So also, training's going to play a big part in that, I should say. So obviously, if you haven't worked together as a unit, that probably means that they're going to be able to develop that relationship much faster. So that's a really good addition. So yeah, I mean, again, that's another fantastic feature added, obviously, being able to group players together. Let's see what else we got. Training, okay. So you have mentoring groups. Okay, so you can group players together as well by mentoring groups. So instead of mentoring just one, I'm not sure what this means here. So maybe Troy Deeney, Tom Cleverley, and Isaac Success. So it looks like there's a wider range of ages here. So that probably means you're able to group a section of players together. You got the veteran. It looks like you have a younger player in the group, and then you have kind of someone in the middle. But it looks like you're able to try and again, it's all sort of grouping and training and things like that. So I have to see a little more information on this to really understand what its design purpose is, or maybe it'll be in the on the page, on the forum page. Maybe I'll explain it there. All right, so So yeah, here we go. Yep, talk about units. You got goalkeeping unit, defensive unit, and attacking unit. So you can add and remove players from youth team. Okay, that's good. So you can bring youth players in and have them train with the attacking unit, and bring your players defensive unit, etc. But it's nice that now they're split into 2 units. I think that's actually a really good addition. Because honestly, that's how it's in real life. You know, you have a team training, and then you split off into your own units, and you work on specific things. So that's a fantastic addition. I love how this looks. Very, very clean. All right, so the training screen, let me see. Training intensity scheduling. Automatically set training intensity and rest based on player condition. Okay, so if they're less than 59%, you can have them half intensity, normal intensity, double intensity if they're 90%. So 27th of August, looks like it's mid-season here. Not quite sure what they're doing here, but it looks like... This is interesting. Player intensity. Okay, so obviously you can focus on an individual's and how hard they train. Okay. Obviously, it's a good thing too, because obviously if a player's not playing a lot of games, you can have them working double intensity to get the fitness levels up, or you can have them working normal intensity if, you know, they're just kind of getting off a game, or you're just trying to maintain a fitness level. So, I mean, from that standpoint, it does look pretty effective. Training really isn't my forte, if you couldn't tell already. I didn't spend a lot of time in training last year, or the year before even. All right, and we're back here. Looks like to the... Oh, no, never mind. Nope, this is a new screen too. Right, so primary tactic, 4-4-2 wing play. This looks like the overall training for the week, I think. Broken down a little bit more. Session 1, Session 2, and extra session. So physical, outfield, endurance, defending, physical. Okay. So it looks pretty well overseen. Looks very similar to the medical overview screen that they introduced last year. Obviously, there's going to be a training overview screen, and this is obviously it. Yeah, it's there. It is actually. Never mind. I was right. Training overview screen. So obviously, I don't know. Just another look at the screen. Looks good. Looks pretty good. Obviously, this is new too. The training performance screen. That's actually pretty new. That's a new one. So Matt Kirby there's an average training rating 8.75. So you can praise players that are starting to train well. You can notice players that are starting to not train as well with the team. That's a good thing to keep an eye on as well. And that's the last of the screenshots. Let's find let's find this. I'm not sure what. So players can't train all the time though, and they won't have energy left to play matches. So you have to use the rest tab here. You can automatically set training intensity and rest periods based on player condition. Okay, that makes sense. You can do this for the whole team using the drop-down menus and each condition level, etc., etc. So okay, that's a really good addition. Let's take a look at this kind of mentoring group. Another change to FM19 is the way that tutoring works under the new mentoring system. You can form mentoring groups, at least 3 players, where senior players will work closely with younger players. Mentoring affects the younger players' personality and player traits. Okay. Yeah, so that's pretty much exactly what I was thinking here. You can just group younger players with more experienced players, like obviously more experienced player can tutor more than one, essentially. That's what it's telling me here. And that's a good thing too, because it happens in real life. Alright, so next up, we're doing the revamped tactics model. Okay, let's take a look here. So, see what we got, shall we? So, choose a tactical style. Okay, so these are some of the more popular tactical styles that exist in world football right now. The G-Gen press, tiki-taka, route 1, wing play, fluid counter-attacking football, direct counter-attacking football, catenaccio, I think that's how you pronounce it. But it looks like they kind of give you all the different styles that modern teams use today. So obviously with that, click one of those. I'm guessing it automatically sets your team instructions and player instructions for you. And very much a little similar to the Tactic Creator, I would imagine. All right, so TikTok. So obviously they clicked flow counter-attacking. So it's giving them cautious, in possession shorter, pass into space, play out of defense, higher tempo, narrow, in transition, distribute quickly, counter press, out of position, defend narrow, lower defensive line, lower line of engagement, and higher pressing intensity. That's a new one there, lower line of engagement. Obviously with this too, it gives you the kind of top 3 tactics that work with counter-attack in football. So 4-1-4-1, the ones you expect, 5-3-2, 4-4-1-1. Next up, it looks like you have chance to set things depending on possession. So when possession has been lost, you counter press. So I'm guessing that probably means it's very similar to the Guardiola style, where you basically have 45 seconds to win the ball back. If you don't win the ball back in 45 seconds, then you retreat your defensive line. So that looks like kind of that means. So you have that or regroup. When possession has been won, you counter attack or you can hold the shape. Goalkeeper possession, distribute quickly. Distribute players, you can option there. You can do it to fullbacks, the playmaker, down the flanks, to the target man. Distribute over opposition defense. Obviously, that's a useful tactic there. If you notice that the opposition defense play a high defensive line, you can try and hit him on the counter attack, launch the ball over long, etc. And then you could choose how the goalkeeper should distribute it, i.e., roll it out, throw it long, take short kicks, take long kicks. All right, so a lot of new things in tactics this year. I'm actually kind of surprised. All right, so here you can decide the attacking width, the approach play, and the final third. So it's very similar to a little bit to last year, just kind of like revamped the look, as it were. Tempo, pass and directness, time wasting. Okay, so you notice that it's a slider. I'm starting to maybe some of the sliders are coming back into Football Manager. Who knows? Oh, those sliders, man! I spent hours on those fucking sliders, and what was it worth to me? All right, so. Oh, this is new. This is fantastic. I do like the look of this. This is engagement. So you have the defensive line. You can set your defensive line on a sliding scale. You have the midfield. You play closer to midfield or further in the midfield. The lower engagement of strikers. You have a player higher up the field, or again sit a little bit deeper. Again, back with the sliders again here. A bit of a vertical slider this time, while this one is obviously a horizontal slider. Pressing intensity. That's good. This actually looks really, really good. I'm very, very impressed with this. This is going to give you a lot of like customization options when they're designing your own tactic. A lot's changed this year. A lot has changed so far. I'm very impressed with it. And we got a brand new player instructions here. Pressing forward. That's surely just defensive forward, isn't it? But it gives you an option to be on attack. All right, so the pressing forward is becoming more important. So the game's main duty is to put pressure on the defensive line, chase down the man in possession. So yeah, it's like a defensive forward, but it's giving the option now to play an attacking pressing forward. Yeah, that's what it looks like there. It looks like a defensive forward, but you can now have him on attack. That's not really new. All right, and then you have. They've changed here from limited fullback to no-nonsense fullback, so the wording has changed there. That's nothing really new. They try and hide it there, but that's essentially the same as limited fullback or limited centre-half here and no-nonsense centre-back. Nothing too new there. All right, so this is the overview of the tactics screen. So far, so good. I like it. I like it a lot. I like how this looks. I like how fluid it is. I've noticed they've switched sides of the page. Obviously your players can be on your right now, all your tactics can be on your left. There's nothing really too exciting there, but I definitely saw a lot of good things from that tactical screen, especially just the customization of how you can how your pressing works. I think that's important, especially for today in modern football. Obviously there's a lot of good things. There's a lot of good things I've seen so far. All right, anything to add here from the writing style? No, not particularly. Obviously, this is actually one of the things I'm actually most pleased about, to be honest, with the new tactical overview. The line of engagements and how quickly you close players down. Where is it? What screen is it? Back. This one, yeah, this one. I'm very, very happy now they've done this, because obviously my issue was I like to press the opposition, but I found that by pressing in FM18 and earlier games, you'd normally pull yourself out of position. Now this one, you can just do a quick kind of counter press by the look of things, and you can just press them quickly and then retreat back into position. Now that's fantastic. That's what I've always wanted to do, but I've never quite managed to mirror it. So at least I think FM19 is going to give me the chance to finally get that one right. All right, so this is a new one as well, newer manager induction. So, all right, so here we go. So FM19 introduces in-depth inductions as a key aspect of manager experience. Inductions essentially in-game, on-screen tutorials. All right. So, tutorials. We all love tutorials, don't we? Nothing new there, nothing new there. All right. Okay, yeah, so basically they've just kind of made it obvious what's new and things like that. So it's nothing more very interesting there. Let's go back to the features page. Oh yeah, the official Bundesliga license. Yes, finally we have the German Bundesliga license. That's wonderful. That's fantastic. This is one of the major things I've wanted from Football Manager for a couple of years now. Obviously, the German leagues and the German national team are such a huge part of the footballing makeup of the world, and it's great to see them finally represented in Football Manager. Very excited to do a German save at some point as well. Hopefully, I was thinking about doing 1860 Munich or maybe Hamburg. I mean, lots of options to me. But overall, very excited to see that we finally got the licenses from Germany. So that's wonderful news. All right, and we've got a new style this season, as you can see from the purple. There's a lot of purple. I'm okay with that. I like purple. Kind of a fresh look here. Nothing too drastic, I would say, so far in the user interface. It's largely similar to FM18. But it does give it a nice fresh look, I'll give you that. It actually looks very similar to Touch. Like FM Touch a little bit. How kind of like, I don't know, soft it is, I guess the word is. I'm not quite sure how to use, but it looks very soft, very rounded. The edges aren't as square and rigid like they were in FM Classic last year. Or FM Regular, full game. But, yeah, I mean, it looks okay. Nothing spectacular, just kind of looks good. Nothing more to add to it, to be honest with you. And we got one more feature, and that's the VAR and match improvements. Now, obviously, last year was the first year that Football Manager had a brand new match engine. And obviously, the match engine had a few bugs, didn't it? I mean, that was to be expected, to be honest with you. This year, I'm hoping they can refine some of those issues and maybe fix some of the issues and the bugs in Football Manager 18, just because there were many times where you saw the goalkeeper just ignore a back pass and let it go into the net for an own goal. There were lots of things like that, and it's very frustrating sometimes to watch the 3D match engine because players don't act normally. And obviously Football Manager is all about realism, and it really breaks the immersion and realism when you see players do things that aren't natural. So let's take a quick look here and see. That's very loud. That's very loud, very loud. And obviously one of the things they've talked about this year is VAR. So obviously the referee is going to go over here to check VAR. Kind of helps build suspense, I suppose. I presume you can skip that little animation there. I hope you can, at least. Because you're very tiring if he does it like 20 times a game. That's another thing too, how they're going to balance that. So the referee has given what looks like a penalty. Okay. All right. So VAR is in Football Manager. Not sure how I feel about it, but it's here, so we're going to have to get used to it. Here is another angle VAR. The replay shows the ball didn't cross the line. Okay. More than 500 animations has been improved. All right. Include cross animation, control animations, crosses, headers, passes, shots, tackles, some celebrations, and even crowd movements. Haven't seen anything mention of goalkeepers yet. Let's take a look here, shall we? So the halftime, the dressing room. It's a dressing room. Okay. Exit that. All right. So we got one more video to take a look at here. Let's take a look at here. It's the same video, I think. Yeah, it's a referee going to look at the VAR. That's nothing you've already seen there. All right, so far, that is it. Those are the new features. You got the training overhaul, the tactical, the new managerial induction, the Bundesliga license, and then a little bit of a inside look on the fresh look. Obviously, there'll be more features announced in the upcoming weeks, and as we get them, we'll take a look at them together. I'm so interested to see if they're going to do a Football Manager 2019 show like they did last season. Yeah, we'll see what happens there. Just keep an eye on things. But overall, so far, I'm very, very happy with the training. It looks like it's the main big change this season. The tactical innovation, that's actually a really nice update, some good new options in there, and this gives you, I feel like, a little bit more control, especially when it comes to the pressing element of tactics. And then obviously the Bundesliga license, top 3 things right there. Training, tactical, Bundesliga license. It looks like a steady upgrade from last year. Doesn't look like too much of a... doesn't look too much like an overhaul, I guess would be the word. But nevertheless, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments below, what are your favorite new features? What do you guys think about the new features in Football Manager 2019? Obviously, this is the first time me seeing them. I'm going to digest them, read properly through, because I haven't had a chance to do that. Literally, I'm looking at it as you're probably looking at it for the first time. So I'm going to take a quick look again. If I see anything new that's interesting, I will certainly add it maybe to Twitter, or maybe a second video coming up. But thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like on it. If you want to see more from me, if you're looking forward to Football Manager 2019 and you want to see FM 2019 saves, there'll be plenty on this channel. Please hit subscribe, turn notifications on. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the very next video. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.